Who was foe? Would there be war or would there be peace? Would the money and food last? Best to be on the safe side, they must have thought, giving orders for many towers and forts to be built here and at other locations in Denmark. The peasants who lived near Helsingborg were those who ensured that Kärnan was built. They were assigned to transport large quantities of timber here, dig ditches and foundations for towers, walls and buildings, extract clay from making bricks, everything that was needed for the construction of a fortress. It was the king who forced them to do all of this. Part of what the peasants grew and owned also had to be given to those in power. That was the tax they had to pay. Life was full of uncertainty for the peasants, with anger and rebellion never far away. The 14th century was a tough one. The weather was bad, it rained more than usual, and the winter seemed to go on forever. Someone has called it the start of the Little Ice Age. The bad weather meant poorer harvests, and there was little growth in the fields. There was not enough of the grain that should have ended up as porridge or bread. Sometimes the obstacles were so great that there were violent rioting. There was war between those who had power and those who didn't. And who used to be victorious? Yes, the ones who had the knights, the well-equipped soldiers, and, of course, as against enemies from across the sea. And as if all this wasn't enough, Denmark was smitten by a plague in the middle of the 1300s. Around 1350, it arrived with a ship from England, or overland from the south. It had already travelled much further than that, and initially it came from far away in the east. Many people were certain that the deaths of thousands and thousands of people were punishment from God. Other people were convinced that the plague came from murderers who had poisoned the eater from God. Now we know that it was neither God nor murderers who were the cause, but the bacterium Yersinia pestis that lived in fleas, which in turn lived in black rats. People were used to those rats. They were absolutely everywhere, on the farms, in the towns. People loathed them as they devoured everything they got close to. But they couldn't have imagined that they were carrying a deadly disease. This turned into a catastrophe in Denmark and Europe. Thousands of farms and homes were abandoned, and whole villages or parts of villages just disappeared. The plague was an enemy that not even shadow